All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, guys. All right. Welcome to the 123 call. So, if you're just live with us now or you're seeing us on the replay, welcome to everybody. Today, we're joined by Ollie, of course. How you doing today, Ollie?
All good, thanks. I nearly forgot to unmute and put my camera back on because I was just telling everybody that we all need, or Ricardo needs your support on the gifts because he's not able to do that right now because he's joining us live on the call today. So, Ricardo, how are you doing today?
All good, all good. Very exciting today to be here with you guys. Normally I get to this time of the day. I work 9 to 5, and just excited to do something else because I'm a software engineer, supporting code. So this is like the line when I change to the what part of the job, the next part of the day, and I'm really excited to be with a different group of people. Excited with your motivation, it's really good. So nice to be this side of the call.
Yeah,
So
it's great to have you
yeah,
on this side as well. So Ricardo, just tell us a little bit about what you do. So you say that you obviously have your work day in the day, and then it's normally
yeah,
at this time, which is 3 p.m. UK. You're based in the Netherlands, so are you 1 hour ahead? Is it 4 p.m. for you?
it's 4 p.m. Right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm traveling, so this is not actually not my home. It's my wife's parents' house, very close to Cascais, Lisbon. Not sure if you know Cascais. It's like 10 minutes walking to the beach. It's very shiny day, very hot here. Well, in Netherlands it was running. Um, it's just
Yeah.
another day, so it's like 20 degrees difference, and it's just a 1 hour difference in time zone. So I'll be here for 1 or 2 weeks, and I'll be back to home, to Netherlands.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I've actually been to Cascais now that you mentioned it. I remember
Ah,
getting on the train from Lisbon to Cascais, the kind of beach town. I remember this must have been about 10, 15 years ago, but I remember it particularly well. I really love that area. So great to hear.
it's a lovely town. It is.
Awesome. So, Esso, how are you doing today?
I'm well. And it's funny when I hear you guys talking. I love it. Both of you guys have different accents than me, of course. I noticed that right away. But the names of the towns of the places that you guys speak of, I know you're speaking English. It's just a strange English to me sometimes because I'm so unfamiliar with it. But as we grow and we spend more time in Europe and in the UK, it's always exciting to see those things. Ricardo, it's really great to have you here today. I'm super excited. I was mentioning just before we went live that this is my first time with 123 call. I'm excited to be here. So Ollie is the pro here. He's in charge of the whole. No, I'm just teasing you, Ollie. So I'm excited to be here to help with any questions, but also you're such an important partner to the group. Just looking at the chat real quickly and seeing all the support with the gifts is really great. That should show you just on your own, Ricardo, that you make a big impact with not just us, but with everybody in the group.
We're dealing with a very serious business. Everything is so serious, like numbers, a lot of money. It is like all important conversation, but sometimes you just have to have some fun with this. So just sometimes I put some keys to animate a bit things, but yeah, I think this is quite serious, like you guys, of course. It's
Well, I
awesome.
think it's important to have fun, and I think that's a part of being a business owner and having that opportunity and getting ability to do your own thing and kind of be your own person. I know sometimes when we're in environments with professional work environments and stuff like that, we have to, carry ourselves in a certain manner. We're allowed to carry ourselves more about truer to yourself, I guess you might want to say, with a little bit more fun. And the gifts are just coming in. So if you're paying attention to the chat, really good.
We do have a record, I believe. I never see so many.
Yeah, we're going to hit the record today, Ricardo. So this is all about you, man.
Oh my
I do
goodness.
want to go into the next part with some questions, or how do you want to go forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Ricardo, I know that you have 3 questions for us, hence the 3 and the 1, 2, 3. And the usual disclaimer, this is what kind of keeps us at the edge of our seats, is that we don't know and we don't talk about the questions beforehand. And I'm sure Ricardo can vouch for that as well. So, I'd say start with your first one and we'll do our best to answer it.
All right. I think you already know me, so I tend to document everything, and even for this call, I prepared some of my notes. So I'm going to just share my screen for a moment. So even if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can always read. Let's see if this works. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I do have... it's more like I group like 4 things. Actually, they're my top priorities. So I'll start discussing what will be the performance of my first product, the performance of my first product. Then going global with my second product, the selection of third product, and strategy. Even though this can be quite big, so I'm just going to start and see how far can we get.
Yeah.
All right. So I have ordered my first product in exchange. I think I already know this. So all my stock is at the moment in a warehouse in the United States and currently being sold on Amazon. I'm selling some test units, like 24 units to Canada at the moment. This is the sales price. I just started the business, to be honest, so January, February this year. So I'm a starter, a beginner. I sold 11 units and gave away 10 for reviews. From this 10, I got 7, 5 stars each. So it's not looking bad. And I do have some graphics actually using the reports that you guys generate. So it's very helpful. So let me scan this very quickly. So actually, well, I'm also going to use the strategies that Robert was talking in the Thursday session. So I'm going to look for the trend line of these graphics that we look here. And I'm not going to compare to the previous term, okay, because that will be not so much relevant. So I'll look at the trend. If I do that, actually it's looking promising. So if we look for the overall sessions, you can see it's increasing. And if we look for the current sessions, the global sessions, and we check with the product expectation, we do actually have a calculator. If this is the third month, this is actually looking quite good. So this is expectation, so 68, and I do have around more than 100. So it's looking good. Then we have the overall WSP, which is also increasing. We do have the PCC also increasing, the costs, which is a bit unclear. I didn't have enough graphics. There's some issues with the infinity values, but it's okay. But overall, everything is increasing. So you can see it here. The trend is looking good. And I'm doing everything I can. I'm following the book, the rules of the book. I can see also the BSR. So every time there's a sale, you can see there's a peak. But the last term, you can see here, I actually didn't have any sales, and that's why it's increasing. But there's a pattern here. You can already see it. Yeah, so I've been following some strategies already. So I'm going to scan this very quickly, and then you guys can tell me if what I'm missing. Okay. So I'm brand registered. I do have A+ content in this page. I already have 7 reviews with 5 stars. I should just start selling on Canada. Well, actually, I'm just I'm selling inventory, so the inward is on the way. I'm doing. I'm improving the listing in the moment. So I didn't like the main image that I ordered from Fiverr. It was not very professional, to be honest. I didn't pay much, but I just thought, why? I do have some skills on Photoshop, and I could do even more. So I also have some skills on 3D modeling, like very realistic graphics. So I thought, why not? Let's just give it a try. So I did actually create the model in 3D, and I submitted to Amazon, and it was already approved by the QA team. And now I can, the customers can actually use the augmented reality on the phones or iPhones, and can place the model in a wall, whatever it is. So it's looking good. So everything is looking good. So I could still improve with more lifestyle image and perhaps a video later. What I should do is, I believe I should probably improve keywords, maybe title. Also, I need to check the EasyPCC course. I checked it once, but it's never enough, so I have to go back. Also notice that as currently for this kind of product, competitors are, it looks like they're in bid war. So bids are between $2 to $5 per bid, per phrase or keyword. So, and according to Robert, probably I could avoid these excessive costs by go deeper in expressions, and probably longer expressions will be way cheaper. So that's something I should probably check. So knowing this, looking for some tips from you guys. So what I'm missing, what could I do? I could also give you the link to the product if you need.
Well, I mean, first thing I would say, Ricardo, is huge hats off, because it looks like you are implementing everything that we teach. So I mean, that's a huge thing. So massive congratulations, because it's really cool to see, because you're comparing data based on your projections. Whereas where we see a lot of people go wrong, certainly in the past, is that there's, a lack of sales, for example, with nothing to compare it to, with no projections to compare it to, with no reporting to kind of see the direction or the trend. So what you've done is you've literally, this is textbook. So I've got to say huge congratulations on that. And I think that's really cool to see. And a lot of people should certainly take this on as the steps, certainly when you're first launching a product.
I was thinking too, Ricardo, well done. Really impressive breakdown for all of us. Not just Ali and myself, but for everybody that's joining us. I know that seeing the product expectations and following along with that part of it, really kind of what that allows you to do is, one of the things that's very difficult early on is to basically you're trusting, right? You're just going out in a belief that all of the information that we talk about is going to work out the way it's going to. But then when you start to match up small things like the product expectations, and they start to look very similar to what's actually happening, it starts to build a little confidence and a little bit of trust in the process. And I think that that's important for you, but it's important for everybody to experience that. I know that there's times where we say, are you doing these things? And in your case, you get to say, yes, I am. I'm doing all of the things that are there. So very impressive.
Yeah.
What I would ask specifically, what is it that what's your specific question here for us on this particular topic?
Okay, so so this is a trend I want to revert. You can see here. So I want to have some sales, because it'll be okay if you don't have any storage. You don't have to pay even the storage from the warehouse and Amazon. So I have to pay this. So it'll be nice to start having again some sales, because for the last 2 weeks I didn't have any. Also, that will boost some confidence in the products. So yeah, that's what. So yeah, that's what I'm looking.
Yeah. Can I just take a look at your sessions trend? I know that just from when you were scrolling earlier, your USP looked very healthy. What are the? Okay, so your USP is averaging. Is that one? I'm assuming that's the 10%. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to go into your Opus from the back end just to kind of view this how I would view my own data. So what I'll do is I'll find it. Is the SKU ending in WGDSC?
SKU, this one.
Oh, you're already on it. So if you just click on just the pod view there, Ricardo, at the bottom.
Global pod? Oh, this one.
Oh, no, just that. Yeah, that one there. Okay, so just looking at the sessions, this is in the US, and it launched in around January, February, and kind of right out of the gate, we've got 2 sessions going up to 19 to 59 to 62. So yeah, it's going in that kind of upwards trajectory. The last term is a little bit of an anomaly at 34, but if we remove that and just treat that as an anomaly, everything else is lining up. So in this case, I don't see an issue with the sessions. I see it that it's headed in the right direction, and you illustrated that in your screenshots. So in terms of sessions, I wouldn't see an issue with sessions or the directions it's going in. I would want to monitor the next 2 data points before making any assumptions that sessions could be something that we'd want to work on. And then if we're looking at USP, we can always assume that we would be starting off kind of on the lower side. Then as the engine starts going, we can see an upward trend. But you can see here, early data is very good on the USP side. So, if we're looking at 50%, again, it could be a bit of an anomaly. I know that you did the Vine program as well, but if we're looking at 5%, 1% goes down a little bit, but 10, 11%, 8% is looking to be quite robust. So it's converting of the sessions, it's converting well. So it shows that people are looking for this product, and when they find it, it converts. Also, the listing is looking good. So for me, at this moment, I wouldn't touch anything. Unless was one of the to-dos to add A+, or what was on your list there?
That's already done. I think there is still space to improve the lifestyle image. Perhaps create some video, maybe could assemble these products. So perhaps I could do something like that. But it's mostly about the keywords, titles, everything related with the search. I think I can tweak and extend.
I think for now, certainly kind of working on these things in the background, so as and when a decision is made, you've got the assets there to put in. But in the meantime, I don't see major urgency on improving keywords, for example, just because the trend is going, where we want it to. In terms of your projections on your product expectation, we're seeing not just them marrying up, but we're seeing the actual surpassing the projections. So therefore, we wouldn't want to muddy the waters and make any drastic changes just yet, because we can see that something's working. So sometimes the best action is no action at all, and in this case, I think that definitely applies.
All right, sorry. So yeah, like Robert says, I just have to be patient and keep things going. So I'll be
and also just on that as well, if we're looking at things like improving lifestyle images and adding video, really that's going to impact the USP, unit session percentage, or conversion onto your listing. So in this case, we don't have an issue with USP. Therefore, I wouldn't take any actions to try and improve something that seems to be working so far. And in terms of improving keywords and title, that's going to be down to a sessions scenario. One thing I would do is just maybe revisit the backend keywords just to make sure that they're optimized, that you've got that 250 bytes filled up to the maximum. But in terms of title alterations or listing changes or keywords rejigging your listing, I wouldn't do that at the moment. Wait until I'd say 3 more terms to see if that trajectory peaks or drops. Then we can revisit. And the fact that you've said yes to this call and you've joined us today, I'll be more than happy to review this as well at a later date.
Oh, that is so helpful. Thanks so much.
All good.
So I'll take that in consideration. Okay, so moving to the next group of questions, I guess.
Just on that one, Ricardo. So did you say you're selling in Canada as well? Did you move some stock over there, or are you selling
Yeah.
via the what's it called, the remote fulfillment?
I did a direct shipment between warehouses, so there is
Okay.
no containers. It's just 3 packages sent via UPS.
And just as this is the first product you've done that with, just a little bit of due diligence. Sometimes whenever you're listing a product in Canada from your US listing, the backend keywords can get lost in on that transit. So just go into your backend in Canada and double check that all of your backend keywords are there, or if there's any other kind of missing terms, because that can always happen. Also in Europe, that can also happen too. So always good practice to double check.
Oh, thanks so much. Nice tip. All right, so next one is going global. So this one about a product from All1. So help me pick one. I got the confirmation from Mickey that is being manufactured at the moment. I don't have a lead time, but is according to Mickey is around 30 days, and I'm going to have like 1 or 2 months for shipping to the country. Probably I will aim to the launch day July, I will assume. This is the sales price in principle. So my question is, okay, so everyone is talking to go global. I do have a lot to learn. I already understood how it works with Canada, so that's great. Yeah, but yeah, what really needs to happen? Because I do understand that with this seller accounts, with this link, was able to assign a marketplace, at least for the credit cards, for the disbursements. I was able to assign, but each market will have his own address, like Amazon DE for Germany, for example, or the UK. So what I need to understand is this each market is account? Do I have to pay the subscription to Amazon? Because I also have to be very afraid of the cost. I'm just starting. I don't want any. I have to be careful. Okay, so I think that's my first question. So the subscription level. So I understood from Robert that the subscription is per account, it's not per country. But then what is the account? Okay, it's like a login. Is that account, or is something I don't understand? And then is everything related with the responsibilities. That opening an account in UK or Germany, they start selling. But I think I can dig this later. It's okay. Yeah, and if at this point has a starter, should I also think about Australia or Japan? I just start again, so maybe this is already too much. I just want to get ready for the next product.
Yep, absolutely. So in terms of multiple accounts, they're going to be minimal in terms of what your selling fees are going to be. Certainly minimal compared to the opportunity cost of not doing those things, as I'm sure you've heard us talk about before. But from my understanding, the UK and Europe is one account. So you wouldn't be opening an account in Italy, France, Spain, Netherlands, Poland. They will be connected to your UK account. And I believe Japan is another separate, as well as Australia.
They're standalones. Okay, perfect. So Europe will be just one account, one expense. So that's perfect. I was afraid that we'll have it. Certainly, I have like 10 times.
Yeah, and then obviously in the UK as well, when you've got stock in the UK, you can distance sell with the EFN to all of the European marketplaces, which is just it's a dream, because we don't need to worry about European VAT, for example, unless you've got stock in Germany. So I would recommend having your stock in the UK and then turning your EFN on, so you can have all of your listings translated into the European countries and make sales that way. Amazon would remit the VAT in the European countries on your behalf, so you don't need to worry about anything there. The only thing to be mindful of is UK VAT, and I see that there is a if your revenue is over 85,000, there is that threshold that you could take advantage of, but that's only if you're a UK resident. So I'm sure Esso, could you speak to this a little bit? I know that it's a little bit different from people who are not residents of the UK.
Yeah, sorry about my technical issues, but I was thinking this is actually a great conversation and a great topic. So it's a really good question, not only for today, but anybody that's joining in, Ricardo. So anybody that's watching this as a replay, or anybody in general, because there's so many variations here. And just for a little clarification, because it got my brains thinking as we were talking. You have your main account that you've opened up with Amazon is through a European entity or a UK entity. Is that correct?
So I'm registering it's a Dutch company, but I do have brand registration, and I open immediately in the United States as global flag. Not sure exactly how that translates.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking that question, let me ask Ollie a question. I'm putting Ollie on the. You guys have a UK business, so you have a limited company and you have one Amazon account. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a UK limited company which we run globally, all over. I know previously that if you had a US LLC, for example, you needed to have a UK limited company if you wanted to operate in the UK. But I believe it's changed now, where you can have your US LLC VAT registered in the UK so that you're compliant with Amazon.
Okay, so taking that a step further, just to get into it, in Ollie, you pay and I believe the fee that you're talking about is your subscription fee, which is $39.99. Ricardo, that's what you're talking about. And Ollie, you paid that one time for all of your access to every market that you sell in, correct?
Yep.
Okay, Ricardo, you should have a similar situation. For myself, because I have an LLC in the United States that I sell through U.S., Canada, Australia, and if I was going to expand to Mexico, I pay $39.99 a month for that. I also have a limited company in the UK, and that's where I would go through selling in the UK and Europe, and I spend $39.99 a month for that subscription because I have two different accounts. So your question about subscriptions and account, they are connected. So in your case, you have one subscription for one account. That's going to be your main account, and then you can access by the drop down every country separately that you sell in. So when you're building a listing, the first time you build it in, if I'm using my US side account, let's say that I build it in the US, I build a listing for the first time in the US, and then what I do is I wait for that listing to basically get captured by the Amazon system. And once it does, I can go into Canada, drop down Canada, switch my account over to Canada, and say I'm going to be selling a new product. And I can insert the ASIN that's been created, or I can insert and it starts to populate for me automatically. Hey, is this your product? And that should be the same way. So it's one account, one subscription cost. And in your case, you go EFN and then you go global with your European side, obviously getting into as many markets as you can. Does that answer a little bit? And Ollie, am I clear on that?
Yep, makes sense on my side. Yeah, I think that answers the account side of things. And in terms of the UK VAT, so there is no threshold, is there, for non-UK residents for UK? Is that right?
So the threshold piece, because it's so foreign to me, the UK side, I outsource that 100%. And because I outsource it, I'm a little bit limited, but we do the same thing. You can go on the flat rates. You can go on every question that gets proposed for whether you're in the residents or non-residents doesn't really come into effect that often for us when it comes to how we register. The same thing with registering in, I know Europe for VAT, you're going to want to pick one country. Usually it's Germany, where you would do that. Those types of things, for me, I handle it 100% with the accountants, and they handle those things for me. But these are not major issues. Ricardo, for me, there were major issues in the beginning. I was super scared of all of it. And the longer I've been selling and the longer I've been participating, leaning into people is a great way to do it. So these are great questions, but I wouldn't make it that concerning. We want to be focusing on the same thing we always talk about, those revenues and the profits, not about the costs so much. But these are great questions, and it is important, especially for UK VAT.
Definitely, just want to clear all these unknowns from the experts, so before
Also,
I can make any decisions.
Also, Ricardo, Robert's just put in the chat there as well. There's no threshold for foreign entities, and also there's some links there as well if you want to grab that. If not, I'll make a quick copy on this side and I'll forward it on to you as well, Ricardo.
Yeah, and I would say anybody that's watching the today on here live with us, to grab those links. Those are great links that you can get into. It looks like there's a video too. Obviously, Robert is a great person to help us out with this particular topic. Being from the UK, I'm limited in that information.
That's very helpful.
And also, Ricardo, one of the questions on there is preparing to launch in Australia. Yep, 100%, definitely start the registration process on that, and Japan as well. I'm not hinting or alluding to anything, or maybe I am, but yeah, I would recommend you set up your Japanese Seller Central as well. So no more questions on Japan yet, but read between the lines. I'd say get the ball rolling so far, because certainly might be being tested out as we speak.
And for that, for everybody watching or anybody watching the replay, that's important, because we are our goal is to get into as many markets as possible, and we are doing some work on daily about on the back end on our side. And the same thing, Ricardo, you've done really good taking control as the CEO of your business and say, I'm going to go find out some of these answers. I'm going to ask these questions. So that's the right move 100%. And go ahead and repeat that for every country that you can, have access to. We're really excited about expanding that global footprint.
So I understand there's so many ways, several ways to do the same thing. Sometimes different results. It's just, I don't want shortcuts. I think Robert also correct me once. When I think about shortcuts, it just cause troubles in the end. So I just want to make the right thing right in the beginning. Another question here. So I just was setting up this morning, see how it works in European Union with these accounts. I could not find my SKU. Actually, I didn't type, but that still raised my question. It's like it's always a SKU different per country. I know it's the same between United States and Canada because I could match. But what about the European Union?
Just so I understand this correctly, Ricardo, so is your SKU on the back end in Canada the same as the US?
Yeah, it's the same SKU. Yeah. So that one matches.
Yes, in most cases, it will be the same, and that would be whenever you're importing that product over. So let's say in Canada, you set up your listing by putting in the ASIN of the original listing in, it finds it, and then whenever before you hit save on there, you put in the SKU, and it would be the same SKU that you would use. On that odd occasion that you forget to put the SKU in and you hit save, Amazon will automatically assign you a new SKU. And in that case, which can happen, that would be what you'd put on the SKU differentials. So it would apply to all the other marketplaces as well. So Europe, Japan, everywhere. You'd want to keep it the same. But on that odd chance, it might throw up a different one, or it might request a different SKU as well, which can sometimes come up.
And how do I know that? It'll be clear that I need to get a new SKU?
Yeah, it would tell you, but 9 times out of 10, you won't come up.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to move on. Yeah, this is I think more for Ali. So as you already know, so I was doing also some research on my own, and I did find a few things that actually were validated by you. And then I asked you to see if we could find the supplier to run the numbers. So we are in this phase that you're going to get the numbers right. So I need to know what's next, what's after that. So they'll be exactly the same as before with my second product.
Yeah, so in terms of all sourcing, so this was a product that you put for all approvals, it passed the mark. I remember the products as well, and we spoke as well. So all products, all of the 3 products made it through the all approvals process. Then you had the option to have it sourced by ourselves, which was completely fine. We received that, and then we had a call as well to look at the products and talk about them in a bit more details in terms of what kind of bonuses would go with them, talking about MOQs, like any kind of crossing off the T's and dotting the I's on the products before we took it to our colleagues in China to look at the sourcing. So on that side, it's completely taken off your plate and the ball's in our court, and we're doing the work to find the product and see if the numbers work, see if we can get through to certain suppliers, speaking to a few other suppliers as well, just to compare different quotes and whatnot. And then on our side, if the numbers are workable, that's where Esso would reach out, and you guys will talk about the options moving forward. So an actual update for those ones. One is looking good so far. So you should be hearing from Esso in the near future, and I'm sure Esso can speak to that as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the process that we work for the all approvals and all sourcing really is allowing you to be a part of that situation, but then take some of the heavy lifting off and off of your plate, and allow us to do what we believe we can do better than most, which is utilize our network, utilize our sources, and push. We get to lean into the network and the infrastructure that we've created. And what that allows you to do then is, we talk about this all the time, is stay competitive or be the most competitive, and with all one and with all sourcing, that allows you to get into every market globally and then stay competitive. So that really is a big part of it. It's not just that we're doing the work for you. It's that we're able to lean into quite an extensive network and keep those costs down for you all along. We do it all the time. Your time is very expensive. It's costly, right? So not everybody has enough time. Ricardo, you started talking today by saying you're completing your day job, and then you get to do this. So that that gives you that support through that, and we're really great that I'm really glad that you're utilizing the all approval, using the all sourcing, getting to a place where we can start to make choices. Because I know that just reading the goals selected for the best product, there's a difference between choice and lack of options. And in your case, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a position that you can make a great choice for yourself and for your business. And so I really think that's a great way to go forward for you.
Yeah, that's exactly the goal. So really exciting. So like building every block one by one.
Well, getting a chance to, as soon as we get the final numbers from Ali, we're gonna, you and I will jump on a call. And we'll go. It'll be very similar to a new product selection call, the way we did. We'll talk about the numbers. We'll talk about the calculations, obviously the margins and things of that nature, and then look at what it would take to get an order done. And then we're going to jump into the same process, which you're going to be a pro into, which is, we pass the procurement process off to Mickey, and she walks us, she basically gets us over the finish line for the products. And there's a lot of things that happen in that meantime. And I think what's important for people to understand for all private label products is that from the beginning, when that product is born with Ollie or Emily in the research, and born in this case for yourself with the research, and then passed on, that a lot of things change from the beginning to the very end. There's a little bit of changes that can happen even late in the process, even so far as to say during the manufacturing time. You mentioned that your other products in manufacturing right now, pay attention to your Monday, because Mickey may give you an update on hey, there's been a carton configuration change, or they're going to go with this many units as opposed to the other ones, because really they structure their manufacturing floor, they change things for you specifically. These aren't products that are sitting on a shelf somewhere that we're pulling off a shelf and packing. They're being produced for you, so there's a lot that can happen in that process. But it's pretty great to see all of the work that you've done just in 3 questions today. I know there was a couple extra, and that's teasing, but very impressive, very good. I look at this and I think, Ricardo, you're going to find success through this process.
Awesome. Thanks really so much.
What else do you have for us? Anything?
Yeah, sure. I'll continue if I do have some time. So this one is about a beginner strategy, to be honest. So I wrote here my notes that firstly I didn't have any notes so far, and we don't have the habit of credit cards, so we do have savings, and we work with that. So I was thinking, is any program something that you guys have experience with that will avoid the transaction for large amounts, like every quarter to buy new stock? I think I heard someone talking in one of the sessions, like co-sharing inventory between members, perhaps, that will reduce the MUQ for each one, and they will dominate the market. So if that is the case, I'll be interested. Understand there is the Ultra program, but also looking forward to have like the portfolio associated with my company. So see what is the best here.
You know what? If you don't mind me going at this for a second, Ricardo, I would say a couple things. We do have products that we that kind of come around once in a while from Ollie and Emily. They're called shelf space products, and these are products that do allow us to get more than one seller involved for a couple reasons. We believe that there's a few extra spaces on the shelf, so to say. It allows us to get maybe sometimes a higher MOQ, or allow us to split up that MOQ, keeping that initial capital investment a little bit lower. Instead of going for maybe $7,000, maybe you can go for $3,500 and add a product to your portfolio in that one. But also understand that we are exploring, okay, and so I say this very, very generally, a few different options out there. Ollie and Mickey just got back from the All One facility and have continued to expand the network and continue to work right on the edge of creativity and pushing the boundaries on it. We talk about this all the time about being innovative, and I don't want to talk about things that we're not ready to speak about. But this is a really good question for you, because what it's doing is we often ask for some feedback, and what I'm gathering from your questions here are that, is there some options maybe to keep my initial investment capital down so that I can continue to add in products, not just quarterly, but annually, and allow me to maintain and move forward? We are working on a few different things there, and we've committed to being on the forefront of that. And without saying we have something for you, we are working towards some exciting pieces. Okay. We were honestly, I was speaking about some of it this morning, and I really think that you'll be a great candidate for all these things, because that's the other side of it. We're looking for feedback. We're looking for what people want. It doesn't help us to make things or provide options that you're not going to take advantage of because you don't need it. But obviously, in some cases, we understand the level of investment that happens, especially early on, especially when your portfolio is when I say small, I don't mean it negatively. I mean, you're at the beginning of your portfolio. You don't have the options of absorbing some of these costs through multiple different products. It becomes quite heavy in the beginning. We're looking at some options to assist through that process. So hang tight on that. Ali, I'm sure you can contribute. Obviously, your expansion and your time in China has definitely helped us for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think we've already let one cat out of the bag on this call, so I'm capping it at that one. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say anymore.
We got you, Ricardo.
But yeah. I do want to say, Ricardo, that you are making the right steps. You're looking at the right data points. You're focusing on the correct things. So I think, quote unquote, student, I think you are definitely like what people should look up to and what people should be, inspired by. So, I kind of wished my early stages and my early journey was similar to yours. So you're doing everything correctly, and I'm proud. So well done. So in terms of starter strategy, I can't add anything else up to that.
Yeah, actually, using the report, you guys tell us to report, right? Every fall day, monthly. Now I have to do the accounting as well. So just learning on the job, and you guys are the masters who's learning from everyone. So I'm really proud to be part of the group. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And like I said at the start as well, in terms of that skew, leave it for 33 data points. Reach back out to me, and I'll gladly partner up with you and give you some of my feedback.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Well, I think, Ricardo, you did great. I really happy that you joined us. Thanks for saying yes and being a part of today. Thanks for all of the great stuff that obviously your preparation is notable. Coming onto the call, we can see for me what that shows is your real level of commitment and interest here. And private label people. I mean, Robert. Ali was just mentioning about, early on in his days, we made a lot of profit killing mistakes early on, Emily and I, and it's not to say that we didn't learn from them. It's just that it would have helped if we could have made a few less, and I think Ali can attest to that a little bit too. So hopefully you're on that path. It looks really, it looks like you are. I know the whole group in the chat box today, very supportive and really great stuff. The most gifts I've ever seen. So great job.
I see. I think so.
Yeah, great energy that you bring to it. Very good.
It's a great community, isn't it? It's great to have people so motivated here. It's awesome.
Well, it's not just us supporting you; it's the whole group, and it's clear to me today watching the chat box. We didn't really go to the chat box today, but it was moving right along with all the stuff. So very, very good. You should feel very good about that, and excited about what tomorrow and the rest of it brings. Look at lots of cats. Good stuff there. That's it for me today. Thank you, Ricardo. Ali, you want to take us out?
Yeah, thanks again, Ricardo, for joining us, and thank you everybody for all the gifts in the comments. Next session, the Gift King will be back, so I'm sure he's proud of all of you. So, thanks again, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.